Welcome along to women's semi-finals day in the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix in the magnificent Porsche Arena in Stuttgart. A little bit late as a result of the snooker, sorry for that, but this is what you can look forward to today for your tennis delights. The first semi-final wildcard is Justine Henin of Belgium against Shahar Peer of Israel, unseeded. That is coming up for you right now, and then not before 5:30 in the UK. That's 6:30 Central European time. Lapushenkova, the qualifier, against another wild card, Sam Stosur from Australia. That match also on international and British.
Every morning when I arrive here very early, I think, oh, I'm the first one. But no, I'm not. It's always you. Why are you practicing so early? It's 4 hours ago, I think.
Yeah, I like to be early on the court and just to get in a good rhythm and just to try to wake up as early as possible. So I feel more comfortable this way.
Yesterday it was quite late for the press conference and all this. When did you really calm down and relax yesterday in the evening?
It was very, very late, but still, I hope it's going to be a great fight today.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Shah, of course, first of all, happy birthday for you. How was it this morning? I mean, you're in the semis of doubles, you're in the semis of singles. Your mom is here and visited you. How was it at your birthday? A perfect day, I guess.
Yeah, it's a nice birthday and I have a long day today, so the only important thing I think is just to enjoy it.
Can you tell us your feelings just in a minute? There's the walk on court, a very big match, so how is it?
Yeah, I just need to enjoy it, you know. Justine is a great player and it's a semi-final in a really nice tournament, so just go out there and have fun.
We will enjoy it too. Thanks.
Thank you.
Of course, the best 23rd birthday present would be to get a win against the former world number one. And this is the current state of play. It's 1-1 in the opening set. Peer held serve to 15 in the opening game. Justine was taken to deuce but held, no break points. Peer was 40-15 up in this game at one stage, but Justine, with her first break point, much to the delight of her coach Carlos Rodriguez, gets the early initiative with a break of serve. Chris Bradnam alongside Sam Smith for this one, and Sam, Peer only got one game the last time they met. Yes, it's a long time ago, but this is going to be a really tough one for her.
Yes, when they played back in 2006 on the hard courts, Justine was, if not the best player in the world, one of the best players in the world at that stage. Shahar was just developing and just serving a bit of notice on the women's tour. But I think what's been very noticeable with Henin this week, and we've seen glimpses of it this year, is that her level, she steps onto court and she looks like one of the best players in the world. Not continually through a match, but they're just patches where you think, oh yes, this is really, really good. And I don't know if Shahar read Jankovic's press conference from yesterday, the quarterfinal yesterday, but Jankovic made, I think, the most astute comment that I've heard from a player in a long time, about that if you drop your level for a moment, she comes right at you, and as soon as you drop your guard, you know, you're going to get broken basically, and that's exactly what just happened to Peer there.
Nehmen Sie die Platz bitte. Danke.
So Henin, the wild card, ranked 24 in the world, former champion here in 2007, twice a finalist as well, looking for her fourth final in Stuttgart in the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix. Has got the early strike, a break of serve, leads 2-1 against Shahar Peer. She's had plenty of purple patches in her tennis to go with her outfit this week. And she was brilliant against Vickmeyer, setting 5-1 up before she actually said, I got nervous. Got it done in straights in the end.
The rise is 39.
Anke Huber, former two-time champion here, won the tournament before she could drive. Won the car, but wasn't allowed to drive it home. She was about 16, 17 at the time.
Well, at that age, she'd have probably been delighted to have taken the money anyway. We've seen serve and volley in Sydney a couple of years ago. Pre-Australian, serve and volleyed a lot in that tournament. Seen it in this tournament fleetingly. It's obviously part of the future plan.
It's all about, for her, shortening the points, saving her body.
That was Shahar's mother.
Just looking at Justine, I don't think she's going to be handing out a lot of birthday presents to Shahar today.
Love game to back up the break.
Ena führt 3-1. 3-1.
She had one of those cars perched up on the side of the court there. There'd be no reverse gears in it, would there, for Justine?
No, well, she has one, so... Shahar, what she's got to deal with, and this is the big problem, is that Enan takes the ball as early as anyone on the tour, maybe earlier, and you just don't have any time to get set for your shot. Interesting yesterday, Jankovic, who has a great pair of feet, has wonderful preparation. So often she was on the stretch, push back, off balance, because how early Enan takes the ball.
That is not going to get the job done. Super build-up initially from Claire. Rather emailed this with the backswing. Thank you very much.
Is it my birthday, says Enan?
Just seeing the replay of Justine coming up to that. Well, you've got to call it a drop shot. Just the way she slid in and then played the shot at the end of the slide. So different to Safina yesterday, who was hitting the shot and then sliding.
And then probably crashing into the net afterwards.
Yeah. Look, it is an art to do well on this.
Enan understands this surface. She grew up on this surface. She knows how to move on it. There's very few women, the Italian women, the Spanish women know how to move on it, but very few know how to move on the clay.
Well done. First ace of the match. It's her 14th of the tournament. And it keeps her in touch at 3-2 Enan, first set.
3-2.
Pablo Giacobelli on the change events. Your thoughts on his comments, Sam?
Well, I think it has to be the way. She's got to be probably more aggressive than she normally is. You got to try and somehow get the first strike in. It's not at all easy, and it feels risky for Pear, who doesn't like to make mistakes. But I think it's a great chance to push out of her comfort zone here.
Look wide, no call. Just a good look at the mark here, and I think that is going to be confirmed wide. The ring of doom goes around the mark left.
Well, even if she missed, which I think she probably did, you're forced as an opponent of Enan to hit a much better return than that.
Yeah.
You know, anything, an average ball or a ball that without any purpose, you're just out the point.
That is so classy by anybody's standards.
Well, she had to stop, adjust, slide back, and then open the racket face. And if she'd have played it with any more loft, that would have been point over. Look at those feet. Confidence is growing, isn't it? Even since Tuesday.
That was an amazing shot.
Just the way she is, her body language on the court, the just intensity about her. she puts so much pressure on the opponent. She has great court presence.
It's almost as though she hasn't been away. I mean, Kim's come back staggered into winning the US Open as quickly as she did, and Justine very nearly emulated it, losing to Serena in the final of the Australian Open. But the way they've come back after such an absence, without the match play. You see Safina at this tournament. She's only been out for 4 months. She looked nervous, she looked afraid, she wasn't hitting the ball, she wasn't timing it. I mean, it's remarkable how quickly they've sort of just slotted back in.
That's a great return from Paire. Got to play at a very high level. Don't forget, this is Enan's 5th tournament back on the tour. First clay court tournament in 2 years. Bit of bother here, though.
No, it's first serve.
That's that broken pinky. Got a bit of a splint on it. She says she almost doesn't notice it anymore. Probably miss it when it's gone. Did it in a loss to Kai Kanepi in the Fed Cup last weekend against Estonia, but Belgium won. Well played. Big come on from Shahar Peer. She is feisty. She was heading towards the top 10 in the early part of January 07. She has got what it takes. Whether she's got enough to get a win today is another matter, but she'll give Enan here a real run for her money.
Yeah, she is tough. She's a great competitor. She's got it mentally. The big thing with Peire was, well, still is, changes of pace. Doesn't have a lot of change of pace. Just needed to become a better player. Had to go down before she came back up again. Serves improved as well. I think she just went up a little too quickly. Other players got used to her, top players got used to her, and then she lost a little bit, made a few too many losses, lost some confidence. Wasn't quite good enough to be where her ranking was.
Great tennis. The cat and mouse that was going on. Terrific
point. By the 15.
Nice changes of pace there from Peire. She's tried to add that to her game, and I like the loopy ball against Enan. Don't forget, Enan's 5'5". You know, that's
and three quarters.
And 3/4. That's not, that's not an easy ball to deal with for her. A lot of players don't use it against her. She's gonna, it's tough to hurt you if she's 2 or 3 meters behind the baseline.
Nearly made it.
15-30.
Amazingly, Enan and Clijsters actually still use natural gut in their frames. I mean, they're probably about the only 2 players on the tour that use it. Everyone's gone to this.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Luxury nylon, or at least a blend of nylon and synthetic string.
Cara Black, doubles partner. They play 4th match on this court today. Semis of the doubles against Dulko and Panetta. Busy birthday. Another great point. And then 1 from 1 so far.
4 out of 4 yesterday against Jankovic. Amazing that she's been so good in that department, so long out. It's incredible.
Strikes back again, and straight away. Once more in the ascendancy. 4-3, first set.
4 games to 3.
A study of concentration. Do you make her the favourite for the French with her record and the way she's come back to great form?
Well, as long as she doesn't go breaking any more fingers. I think that right hand's got a bit of a blister there, because I think the racket turns in her hand a little bit more sometimes on the clay, so she's just having a few obs and bobs. I've got to say that, I mean, I personally felt that Clijsters a few weeks ago was my favourite for the French Open, but she may not even play now with this left foot muscle tear. But I'll tell you what, the way Anand's playing, everyone's going to be so psyched out by the time she gets there. It's going to be so tough to beat her.
Yeah. I mean, the first round could be her toughest match. Nerves, revisiting. Can be real
home from home, and they're going to love her in Paris.
Yeah, that's for sure. Just over pressing with the new balls.
And just to talk a little bit more about the French Open, which is not so far away now.
No,
what is it? A month away.
Yeah.
There's only 2 courts she's going to play on: the Châtelet and the Long. She's not playing anywhere else. Whether she's, even as a low seed. I mean, she's a 4 times champion. They love her in Paris. Don't also forget she's a Walloon. She's a French speaker as well. She's as close to a French champion as I think they're going to get in the women's side at the moment. In France also, it's not all about winning as well. It's about the style and how you do it, and she does both.
Yeah. She's only lost 4 matches at the French in her career. She's won 38 matches there. You're not going to ask you, Sam, don't you? You can have a stab at the 4 losses. They're tough.
One of them,
They're
she
tough.
was really ill. Very ill.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to leave that one alone.
Good return.
She used to Davenport 1 year at the French,
Very good.
early on in her career.
Well done. Second round 99.
Okay, she was young then.
That's 1.
Did she lose to an Italian 1 year?
She did.
I don't know which Italian it was though. I think that was when she was ill, wasn't it?
Second round 04, Tatiana Garbi.
That's it, she was ill. Sorry, Tatiana, she was really ill that day. Okay, that's my best.
That's good. 2 out of 4 is very good. Kim in the semi-final of 01.
Yeah, got very tight there.
And Aniko Kapros of Hungary in the first round of 02. Famous win for Kapros. She's dining on that still. Stunning pass.
Well, I can't argue with the way Pear's trying to play this, but her execution isn't good enough. And don't come into Anand cross court. That's kind of a no-no unless she's out on the other far stand.
Little alley. Should be trademarked, really, shouldn't it? 5-3 the lead. That was a good battling performance last night against Jankovic, Sam. I mean, that's the sort of match that she needs to really feel that she's back to big-time tennis.
She's back. Just look at that serve there. I mean, that is Anand's favourite serve. Down the tee, left court. She plays it on every key point. And Per looked surprised that it came there.
Yeah.
I know she's under pressure, but the nozzle really has to be switched on against Anand.
She needs your little black book. Put it on eBay, Sam. Get your yacht and off you go in the sunset. Super. The sound of that on the screen was so good, because the touch was so good.
15
Well, Bear didn't really have this kind of variety when she burst onto the scene. It was just great ground strokes, you know. And it's just taking a little bit of time to develop these little change-ups, make it part of her game.
Oh, that's a flyer off the line. That's horrible when that happens against you.
15.
They skid so much more on clay than any other surface off the line. Grass, they sort of check. Oh, again, 2 in a row off the line. What do you do with that?
15-13.
Didn't catch that, did you? Brilliant. It needs to be.
Draait zich bij de 30.
Really growing into this.
40-13. 40-13.
Too good. Short, sat up, punished.
Einstein's juice.
Yeah, if you're going to be critical of Penn, I noticed it in the penultimate point, even though she won that point, her length today is not good enough. Like this shorter swing from Ellen, I think she's improved the forehands for the second career. Took a little while to bed down. But I just don't feel she shanks as many.
Yeah.
She'll probably hit one over to Munich now, but it's a better shot.
And the backhand is so versatile.
Voortime Anna.
Set point now.
Restart. Choose.
Tough shot to take on. Nearly made it. From the line, to the line. You got to hit one that Robin Hood would be proud of to make that one. Looking forward to the new Robin Hood coming out with Russell Crowe, I must say.
Full time. Anna.
Per here's got to learn quickly. You can't open up the court like that against Anna and not expect to feel some pain.
Back in.
Second set point.
Spiel. Eisbesatz.
Winners at will.
Anna.
Nods of approval from Carlos. 6-3.
6-3.
Set in just over the half hour.
6-3.
It's going to be a toughie pair to feature here with Enan in this mood. Welcome back.
Zweiter Satz.
If you're just joining us, this is the first of the women's semi-finals of the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix in Stuttgart. Justine Henin, champion here 3 years ago. Not here, of course, in the autumn, and the old site is looking for her fourth final here in this event. And as you can see, it's a cleanly swept court because she won the first set 6-3 in about 35 minutes.
15 love.
A very high quality set. And the backhand you could watch all day and all night.
30-0.
Pair's literally just got to hang on here, hasn't she?
39.
And Anne's very much in her head. I think with Per, more of her balls have got to be with more purpose. They've got to go somewhere. Too many are just kind of nothing balls.
40-0.
It's okay against lower ranked players, but she's basically, I would say, playing someone who's playing easily top 5 tennis here. And the level's completely different.
As you mentioned, this is her 5th tournament of the year, and on the points that she's won since January 1st, Henin is number 3 in the world with the rest of the players. She's ranked 24, but you can almost ignore that. Another love game, her second of the match.
Erste Spiel, zweiter Satz. First game, second set.
With Anna, what I really loved in the Jankovic match, I don't think this tournament is about winning and losing, which certainly wasn't then. It's about getting the level up, because she feels once the level's up, that's good enough to beat anyone. Lovely ratio there, great on the break points again. I don't know how you can be away 2 years and hardly keeping fit or playing tennis and be so mentally tough on the break points. It's just like she's just flicked a switch and she's back on it.
Oh, that's a wonderful stroke. The way she waited for that ball just to get into her tram lines so she could bring it back in down the line. Just look at this here. Just paused and waited. So it felt almost like a cross-court shot in the end.
She's got to execute better, hasn't she, Per?
Yeah.
$30-0. 39.
If she won both her matches today, Per, it'd be worth an extra $30,000 in the double semi-finals later. Down on the 23rd birthday, didn't it?
40 love.
And Anne's already made over $20 million Shahar is closing in on 3 million. Love game for Pear. Her first. Good messages down the other end.
In Spider, 1 game on.
Serve has improved, hasn't it?
Yep.
It needed to.
It did.
I can remember when she was 15 in the world, closing in on the top 10. It was one of the talking points. Can she be a top 10 player with the serve she's got? Off the ground, attitude, everything else is top notch.
0-15, Laverty.
Yeah, don't forget also, I think there's about 2 clay courts in the whole of Israel. It's a hard court paradise.
First serve.
So she didn't grow up on this surface. It's not, so it's, you know, not easy for her to learn how. She's had to learn how to slide, how to move on it.
Powder. 15 on.
Great manipulation. Stalled it a little as well, so Claire really didn't know where she was going with the final shot.
15, 30.
Got to say, Enan's really picked on that backhand corner, hasn't she? It's just somewhere that really I don't feel Pear moves as well to her backhand side as her forehand side. She doesn't really defend that well. I mean, she can just about chip out of there now, but you know, it's not strong.
30, 15. 40, 15. Spiel Enan.
Very solid on serve now. Has been broken the once.
Enan führt
2-1 the lead.
2 games to 1.
Still battling, Pear. First semi-final here. She would love to make it through to her first final. Hope she's good at climbing mountains. Setting 1-2 down.
Ever
wanted to climb a mountain? Kilimanjaro or something as a personal life experience?
What about you?
No, not quite.
It doesn't really do it for me at all.
Learn a lot about yourself, I think. Missed it. Wow.
The rise is 0-39.
It wasn't easy. It was actually bouncing towards the tram line.
Carlos is thinking that's not one of mine. They're a great team, aren't they? They've been together since Justine was 14, now 27. Good serve. She's used that one well this tournament. Slower one out wide. Really well.
She's mentally still in this, very much so.
To see it from. It wasn't a bad kick serve, really, was it? Didn't have much pace, but.
Well, I hope we get a replay, because what we're going to see is knuckles right on top of that grip. Very high backswing. You can see how high she is at the back. It allows her to get this great velocity to get under the ball.
Didn't need to be as good as that with Enan off balance, but just by name and reputation and what she's achieved before, you feel as though you've got to do something extra all the time.
You overpress. She's great at getting opponents to overpress. One of, I think, the great dangers in modern tennis.
Forty love to Juice.
Juice.
Really, the time she's got, able to hit the return out to the trams, makes such a difference. There's a shank for you, Sam, but you're right. They're very few and far between on this comeback.
Yeah, she really has shortened that backswing, made it a more compact shot.
Great touch on both sides, and she tried to close the net now. And what a great adjustment.
Juice.
She can do anything on the tennis court, anything.
That's behind her leg when she hit that.
Doesn't matter, does it?
She should have been in Star Wars. Such pressure for the server, isn't it, Sam? You finished your service motion, you're then herring it out to the side court, out by the tram lines. A lot of women, enormous number of women, return back down the middle. And then when she can, she wants to get you on the run. Another break point. Get your spikes on, Shahar. Well, it's a really good second serve. She's furious for missing the backhand. But it's all Enan at a set and 3-1.
3-1.
She's trying as hard as she can. She's actually playing pretty well, isn't she?
She is.
comparison. That return down the middle. So
Crimson by the 50.
unleash straight away.
Bereit sich Crimson. 30-15. Net. Fässer.
It's like she's been doing it all her life.
Amazing, really. As when she was a real youngster, 12, 13, she just used to run about the baseline, get the ball back. Didn't even have a forehand. Don't forget, when she came back, I think the target of her comeback is to win Wimbledon. So she's going to, you know, start the old serve and volley. She's going to serve and volley all year round on every surface to some extent, because she's going to serve and volley a lot at Wimbledon. So it's all with sort of one eye on Wimbledon.
It's going to be fun to watch.
Oh, I can't wait.
That's super. Punished anything that you can off return of serve. It puts pressure on the server. Comfortable game at one stage for Anand. Now herself facing a break point. Pair broken from 40 love in the last.
Net Fässer.
Luckily one of the shots missed it onto the line.
Einstein's juice.
That one.
Time, Anna.
I'm not sure, with the exception of the Williams sisters, maybe Kim Clijsters, I'm not sure who else moves on to a short ball better than Justine Anna out there on the tour these days. In my mind, those four still, forget the rankings, those four still to me are the best four.
Yeah, it's well played. It's winning more of the little battles as well now. Big game that. So it keeps the door shut on Pair. Rodriguez once more.
4-1. Pair has requested her coach on board.
Welcome back. Well, they had a bit of a Barney.
Not a lot of consensus there. I think understandable though. Pair, she's playing well. She wouldn't be in the semis of this tournament if she wasn't. But she's just been carved up out here. She's been put in uncomfortable situations. She can't get her rhythm, her timing. Enan's doing a real job on her, and it's tough.
But the fact they were sort of heated like that, I mean, she still is so ambitious for this match.
15-0.
She's just got a great attitude, this woman. Never say die attitude.
By the 15-0.
Hates missing.
And that error because she feels rushed. Not on that ball, but just generally through this match. She's been ambushed out of this semi-final. That's what Enan does to you. She gets in your head very early. She has to. She's playing bigger, stronger, more physical opponents. I just wonder if Pair can take heart in many ways. The scoreline could be closer. There's been 5 games that have gone to deuce, but Enan's won all 5 of them.
40-15.
Turn a few of those around.
40-15.
Could be closer.
Faces.
40-13. 40-13.
Good from any angle. Still fighting so hard. It's a great lesson for everybody what Pair's putting into this challenge. She's absolutely refusing to buckle. Mum's biting her nails, but you never know. She's kept it to the single break deficit. She got nervous closing out against Wickmeyer. Sam, on the break, you said that she was terrific closing out against Jankovic.
Yep, 4 games in a row
night.
From 3-2 down. Really clean there.
But she's sending Enan all the right messages to make her nervous. No wonder the look.
Yeah, Enan isn't the best closer in women's tennis. It's extraordinary considering how much she's won, but she struggles a little.
And in that phenomenal final in Brisbane, had match points against Clijsters, lost 8-6 in the tie-break third set, lost 7-6 in the third again against Kim in Miami.
Fünfzehn, 15-13.
Sometimes players can get a bit upset when they hear the alley off one of their errors. Justine hits a great shot or forces you into an error or hits a winner. The alley has a slightly different feel about it, doesn't it? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's I think the LA.
It's a reaction.
I think the LA really winds most of the players up. Full stop.
Yeah. Is that getting tight?
30,
She had plenty of time.
14.
Just caught Pair moving, I have a feeling, the right way, just out of the corner of her eye. I think maybe just took her own eye off it.
Lifeline point.
Einstein.
Ouch.
Juice.
Yeah.
The serve.
But she read it though. She was
9
onto
times
it.
out of 10.
But she was onto it.
But she knew it was going there. You've got to make that.
Four time. Anna.
If you know it's going there, why don't you move over a little bit, and then I'll see you and make her hit the one that she doesn't want to hit so much of. What have you got to lose? A set and 4-2 down.
Einstein.
Big game.
Juice.
It's getting a bit fidgety, isn't it?
Someone was telling me a while ago, I think another player was telling me that in his early days, he used to play on the tour, Carlos, you ranked about 150 in the world, he used to be a really relaxed guy, really chilled out South American.
How many shot choices went through her mind then?
Anna.
She chose the most difficult by the time she got there. Full stretch,
as
full speed to play a touch shot
Yeah.
like that.
The funny thing is, as a teenager, she had just belted that.
Yeah.
Spiel. Anna.
Tough game, but Enan again wins the mini battle and comes through it. It's a comfortable scoreboard
Anna Fürth.
at a set 5-2.
5 games to 2.
New balls in play. Pair serving to stay in the match.
15-0. 15-9. Dreißig 0. 39.
Just not enough on that serve. I mean, the serve, if anything, throughout this match, I think it's gone off a little for Pair.
30-15.
Pace-wise, direction. It's Dieter Fischer, former tournament director for many, many years.
Net. Fischer. Beide 30.
Just another example there. Pair not able to hold her ground tight to that baseline. Always forced to give territory out here. Hasn't been able to really play this match in any way on her terms.
Well, the last couple of games, Enan's made more than she has in the entire match.
40-30.
And missed quite badly too.
She's pushing it though, isn't she? She's pushing to see how much she can get out of her game. I think she's trying to give it another 5%, take things to the next level.
The volley was a donation, as they call it in the trade, after the approach work.
Einsteins.
If you're going to come in cross court, that's the way to do it.
Led the serve well, onto it early. Phenomenal winner. Sets up. Match point. Oops. Wow. Well, it is a dangerous surface. Your foot can get stuck at any time, even with the greatest players on clay. Oh, yeah, just a slip. Could have been nasty.
Yeah, it's just that the surface, and there's a lot of top surface, and doesn't give you any traction, unlike a hard court. So when you go to push off, sometimes there's nothing. There just isn't anything to push off from. And I think there's just this surface. I know you love it because it doesn't need watering, but there's a lot of dressing on, isn't it? We see a lot of players just feet they go to push off and they just can't push off properly.
Well, she was a little afraid to put her weight on that then.
Full time.
Second match point. And she ran across the court. Stunning winner. Big smile for final in Stuttgart for the former world #1. It's the third final of the year. Peja gave it absolutely everything, just not good enough.
No, I couldn't have summed it up better myself. It was a great match performance and maintained the intensity right from the start of the match. She broke early and she maintained it all the way through to the finish line. She won all the key games, all the juice games, and all the key break points.
Champion of 2007 in some style books her place in the final tomorrow once more. She'll play either Lapuchenkova, the Russian who qualified into the main draw, or the wild-carded Sam Stosur from Australia, the 7th seed, the only seed, of course, in the semi-finals with 2 wild cards and a qualifier. It's been some tournament, more success for Carlos Rodriguez and the team. He will be delighted. The preparations for the French Open couldn't be going any better, even with a stumble and a broken finger. And here's Matthias Stach with Justine.
Justine, do you like the number 60?
Well, I don't know, but it seems a good number.
It's final number 60 in your career. How is that?
Well, it's just great. I mean, I'm so happy to be again in the final here in Stuttgart. It was the case in 2007, now on clay. And it's a tournament I like a lot, so it's just great to play good tennis here. And yeah, I just enjoy my game out there, so that's great.
When after the match, Coach Henin will sit together with player Justine, what will the coach say?
Well, he will start with mistakes I did, that's for sure, and then he will say, but finally that was good enough. But no, of course, we want to get better all the time, and when I play much more aggressive, my game is so different, and my tennis is much better, so I have to keep going this way. I know I have good stats on at the net, so I just have to keep going, and I cross my fingers for the final now.
For me, it's fascinating. I think Carlos met you the first time when you were 14 years old. How can he still, push you and go all the way? It's incredible.
Yeah, there is so much trust between the two of us, so he still knows. I can guarantee that he knows how to, push myself. And I mean, we're still a very good team together. After it's going to be 14 years this year that we're working together, and to come back with him, and it's just a great human adventure. So I'm very happy about it.
We talked about the break you took. Did you follow tennis, by the way, on TV? What Roger did, for example, at the French?
Yeah, that was probably one of the first matches I have seen in a year, because I didn't follow tennis that much when I retired. I want to be away from that world. And but when I saw Roger winning the French Open, I admired him so much, because he's been in trouble for 2 years, and then he kept fighting, and he did win on clay, as everyone couldn't expect that, and he did it. So I mean, so much respect, and probably brings back the fire inside of me, and dreaming of Wimbledon one day, of course.
The last one, just before the final, is there any time to relax, to celebrate, maybe to have a little glass of wine or a nice dinner, or how is it in this evening?
Yeah, we enjoy every moment. It's been very late in the last few nights, and I was a bit tired today, so I hope I'll have a good night rest tonight. But I enjoy being in the final here, and tomorrow is going to be a very special day. I don't drink wine as I'm playing, but I hope we can celebrate something tomorrow.
You know what? We enjoy that you are here. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
And who will she play in the final? Either Lapuchenkova of Russia or Sam Stosur, the semi-finalist at the French last year, of course, from Australia. You'll be able to see that not before 5:30 in Britain, 6:30 Central European time on the British Eurosport International and British Eurosport. Just one name left to fill for the final two. Shahar Peer, the consolation of playing in the semi-final of the doubles, the last match on centre court today with her partner Cara Black. So thanks for your company so far, and we hope to have your company, of course, for the second of the women's semi-finals, not before 3 hours from now. We're going back to Sheffield for the snooker, of course, so depending on where the frames are in that, we will get to the second semi-final as on time as we possibly can. I'm sure you're understanding of that, but we'll be fast-footing it through Lapuchenkova of Russia and Stosur. I haven't seen Lapuchenkova. I didn't see her play last night. Maybe for many of you it'll be her first time. But Sam and I will be here, and we hope to have your company. See you later.